If you are thinking about leaving corporate America, or you're getting near retirement, or you are just looking for a big change financially, I got a cat here. Uh, Her name is Dee Dee. She thinks she runs this place. If you are there somewhere close to there, then this is the right place to be, especially if you're thinking of, hey, how do I create a remote income? How do I move away from that W-2 income and have the freedom and flexibility of my own 1099 income? If that's you, then this is the right place and the right time. Hi, I'm Jerome in Boise, Idaho. Actually, about 40 miles outside of Boise. You're looking at the Owyhee foothills behind me there. That's just between us and Nevada. So I've been there on that journey. I have been in corporate America. I have had my own brick and mortar businesses for many, many years. And then over the last few years, I've morphed into an online business. And also, I have focused on the coaching side. Since I've done it, I'd like to help you do it if you're looking for something like that. Because what you're finding out in today's world is if you have a hobby, if you have a passion, if you have a skill set of any kind, and everybody does, most of us don't know that we do have that, is what I've just been discovering in my coaching the last few years, then you can share that with others, and they will pay you for that knowledge. Because if you can help somebody go from A to B more quickly than they can do by themselves, they will pay you for that because they need that help. You have some insight, you have some guidance, you have some coaching, you have some knowledge that they don't have yet. And if you can help them accelerate on that passage, on that change in their lives, just like I'm doing with you here at this moment, then that is a great thing. And you can create an income from that. And I can help you do that. By the way, if this helps you in any way, would you please subscribe, number one. And number two, leave a comment. I love helping people start businesses. So I love to have those kinds of comments down below. So let's get into that process of where you are now in corporate America, and maybe with some other kind of business. Maybe it's a small business you work for. Maybe it's a business of your own. And you're thinking, how can I change that? How can I move into the online sphere and create some ongoing, recurring revenue? So we're going to talk about that. So my story is along those same lines. I grew up, moved to Boise, had always wanted to start a business, but had no clue what I should do. But there was one thing, and that was I loved good coffee. And I had fallen in love with coffee in Seattle, growing up there and going to college in the 80s. And there's a little espresso bar. In fact, you may have been there, or you may know about it, or you can go there and visit it. It's called the Allegro. It's on 45th and University Way, right across the street from the University of Washington. And so during breaks at school, I would go over there and have coffee, and just fell in love with the whole process. Got to know the owner of the cafe, learned more about espresso machines and roasting and things like that. And when I moved to Boise, I wanted to do something like that, but I was absolutely broke. My wife had just started her job at the time, and so I couldn't. So I went to work for a couple of years, worked for a bank, which is a great thing to do because there's so much you can learn working for somebody else, working on their dime. And all those skill sets you start learning, and they're there through osmosis, and they will pay off down the road. So Eventually, I'd save enough money to borrow enough money to start a coffee roasting company. It was called White Cloud Coffee. And I named it after one of the many, many the mountain ranges in Idaho. That was the beginning of my coffee career. And then after that, I had always loved the retail business, so I wanted to start a espresso cafe. And so what happened was I had two partners that came with me. They owned a cafe, a great, fabulous cafe, and instead of doing this whole thing by myself, we partnered together, and it was a wonderful run for many years. And that was a classic brick and mortar business, and so was their cafe and their restaurant and their wholesale bakery that they had. And so those are wonderful businesses, but they are also hard because you have employees and you have all the legal and you have all the marketing and you have so many things that go with a brick and mortar business. And was my apprenticeship for many, many years. A great partnership with them, with that chain of espresso cafes called Moxie Java. And then, of course, I also had White Cloud Coffee, which was our roasting company. And over the years, we began to take on more and more of the internet, but mostly just for a website and some online sales, but very, very little of that. But over time, we sold Moxie Java, and then we continued on with White Cloud Coffee, and we had our coffee in many, many grocery stores around the Northwest, Montana, Idaho, Eastern Oregon, Eastern Washington, and it became a very, very expensive business because of the shipping and the employees and the displays in all the grocery stores and so on. So I could tell our margins were getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and my wife Lori said we should move this whole business online. And I had been so wedded and so tied in with the old style of business, it took me a while to really get my arms around that. But we did. We actually moved out of all those grocery stores eventually, which was really expensive to do. And then we grew our online business, and that became very successful. So our sales went down a lot, maybe 2/3, but we became profitable. And so that's what began to turn the light bulb on for me. And because I've gone through that process, I can also help you with that process, no matter what kind of position you might have now, or that you've just left, or if you're thinking of retiring, but you still have a lot of gas in the tank, want to create more income. That's where I can help you. And down below, I've got some information for you down there, a link. So that link will take you to some of the things I can help you with. By the way, I have a free school, SKOOL, where I do 2 free coachings every other week, and you can tap into that for free. And then if you want some one-on-one help with a business you might want to create or build or grow, I've got some programs for you there as well. What happened was, after we sold those businesses, gosh, I was kind of lost for a while. And it took me a while to realize, oh my gosh, I can take everything I've learned here with the coffee roasting business, with the cafe business, and I can begin to do some coaching and some sharing in that process and help others who might want to either start their own business, a brick and mortar business, or they might want to do a remote income, which is what I really, really recommend for you. So there are so many advantages in today's world with the internet and fantastic tools that you can access to start a business. It's just, there has never been a better time. There never has been a better time. Sorry, the cat is down here shaking the table. And so I want you to think about the skill sets, the passions, the knowledge that you have that you can share with others. Because when you do that, you can create a wonderful income that people are looking for because they need help with those kinds of things as well. And that's the transition we're talking about. How do we transition over from a brick and mortar business, or because that's maybe all you've known is some kind of brick and mortar business over the years. And so that's what we work on. That's what I can help you with my Be the Boss course, is moving you there. And there's a lot of help online. You can, obviously there's millions of videos. You've probably watched a bunch of them as you think about, how do I get this idea, this concept, this product out of my head and turn it into reality? Turn it into something that somebody else can purchase, either on an ongoing basis, which I think is the best thing to have, either a subscription, or maybe a membership, where you can help people over the long term. And that creates ongoing revenue for you, and it provides great value for them, as opposed to just kind of a one and done thing. That's why I'm a big believer in that. Even in my coaching, when you buy my coaching program, I'm there. You might take the classes and you might go through all the modules, but every week I'm there to answer questions. I'm there to give you input. I'm there to give you feedback. I think that's important in any kind of endeavor that you might want to help others with, as you think about this transition from a brick and mortar kind of environment to something that is much more online. The next thing you need to think about is, and this is in all my prior videos, it's in my course, is what is the problem that you can help somebody with? Do they want to learn how to quilt? Do they want to learn how to start collecting old Studebakers, like my cousin Danny does? Do they want to learn how to write better? Whatever it is, when you think about the 3.5, 4 billion people online every day throughout the world, all you need is a tiny slice of that for your business, for your income, for your income system that you want to build. And that's what should give you a great amount of confidence that you're going to, no matter how eclectic, whether it's doing model trains, or teaching people how to use LinkedIn, or teaching people how to do carpentry, or woodworking, or clockmaking, or watchmaking. It doesn't matter. Your skill set will be fantastic for somebody. You just have to find them. And you do that by making yourself more findable. So that process, that learning process of moving from brick and mortar to an online business, is actually much easier than you think. And a great example is what you're seeing right here with me. Having a YouTube channel is, number one, is free. Number two, it's like a free TV. It's a free TV studio where you can share about who you are and what you can help people with. That's why I recommend to everybody. And then down below, like for me, in your channel, you can put all the links where people can find out where you can help them. And that's just a great, fantastic tool. And of course, there's all kinds of other social media, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, doesn't matter what it is, whatever you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with any of them, then I would suggest that you go ahead and do that with YouTube as a great place to start, because it's so easy to learn and there's so many resources to help you out there. So that process, that morphing from a brick and mortar, morphing over from retirement into an online business, is something that you can do, that thousands, tens of thousands of people are already doing. And that whole idea of using a bit of social media to make yourself more findable is a great way to begin to use the resources that are out there. And like I said earlier, a huge part of what you want to do is make yourself more findable. And you do that with some of these tools. You do that with some of the things that I share in my courses. And as you become more findable and you tell your story, it begins to align with other people and what they're looking for based on the skill sets you have, based on how you can help others solve this problem of taking a craft, taking a profession, taking a skill set, and sharing it with others so that they can do what you're doing. They can find ways to create income. Or maybe they don't want to create income. Maybe they just need to learn something just to be happier and have something that can be really satisfying to do when it comes to a hobby, a skill set, an avocation. And so that's why I'm recommending to everybody that they take what they know and they figure out, how can I share this? How can I create more? How can I not just be a little silo somewhere? Because if you are over 60 like I am, wouldn't it be a shame to pass away down the road and not have shared what you know with somebody else? So that legacy of yours continues. It continues on. I think that's a wonderful thing. And people are willing to pay you for your help in that problem-solving area. So if this helps in any way, I want you to please like and share, and of course, leave a comment so I can understand the things you might be looking for. And this process of moving from a brick and mortar business, either one you've been at for many years or one that you've even started yourself and maybe you've sold it. Maybe you just got into retirement. There are things you can do right now, and very, very simply. There's so many free tools, like I said. And I want you to really deep dive and say, I can do this. I just need to reach out. Reach out to me. I have a free 45-minute session where we do a strategy session on the product, the concept, the idea that you want to share with the world. And I will help you do that. And so, and even if I can't, we still walk away as friends of having met online, and I can encourage you to really pursue what it is that you want to share. So with that, I thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of this channel. Thank you for sharing and liking. And I've got some wonderful tools down below. Come and join my free school. Take a look at my my coaching sessions if you want. And no matter what, I'll see you on the inside.